To protect the life and effectiveness of a tire, it needs to be kept in proper alignment. Okay, so to protect the life and effectiveness of a tire, it needs to be kept in proper alignment. If a tire is not kept in proper alignment, it will wear unevenly, and that will shorten its life and effectiveness. And that's it for your mechanics class for today. I just want you, though, to keep this image in your mind. And I'd like to propose that, like a tire that needs to be kept in proper alignment for its life and effectiveness, so do our resolutions. So do our resolutions. We need to keep our resolutions in proper alignment for their life and effectiveness. And you're probably wondering, in alignment with what? They need to be in alignment for their life and effectiveness. They need to be in alignment with Christian values. Now, as I said, Christian values. How did that make you feel? Christian values. Because when I hear the phrase Christian values, it kind of creeps me out, actually, which is probably unfortunate, because I think that's to do with some Christians who have developed some type of Christian values that seem to be doing more to put people down and moralize and just yuck. And then society doesn't like Christian values either, because Christian values go against the values of the world. And so, of course, society is going to badmouth Christian values also. Because you think about it, what are some good Christian values? Oh, my favorite, love your enemy. That's a good Christian value, isn't it? How are you doing with that one? Love your enemy. I mean, it's like, okay, Jesus, you want me to do what? You want me to love your enemy. Well, the thing is, though, is if our resolution is to get back at our enemy, do you think God's going to bless that? If you're spending a lot of time going through these worst case scenarios in your brain about this person, of how you would like to plot their agonizing death, do you think God's going to bless that? Because what is God going to bless in that value to love your enemy? What if we're just striving to be more loving people? That's what God's going to bless. That's what God is calling us to. He's like, I'm calling you to be more loving to the point where you will get to the point of loving your enemy. But we need to make that resolution to be more loving, to live that Christian value. Here's another Christian value. How many times are we supposed to forgive? 7 times 70. I'm sorry, with some people I have a hard time with number 1, okay? I haven't gotten to the 7 times 70 to that. And so God is calling us, a Christian value, to be more forgiving. And so if we make a resolution to be more forgiving, God will bless that resolution. But if we're not more forgiving, we're going to just suffer the consequences about not being forgiving. Because when we're not being forgiving, who are we really hurting? The other person or ourselves? God doesn't want to bless that when we hurt ourselves. So for our resolutions to have life and effectiveness, they need to be in alignment with Christian values. And that's what Jesus was trying to teach in the Beatitudes in the Gospel of Luke chapter 6, verse 21. And raising his eyes toward his disciples, Jesus said, "Blessed are you who are now hungry, for you will be satisfied." How are you striving to be happier, healthier, and holier? How are you striving to be happier, healthier, and holier? How are you hungering for this? The Lord wants to satisfy that hunger in you, wants to bless that hunger in you. Or another translation says, "Happy are you who are not hungry." The Lord wants us to be happier, healthier, and holier. He wants to bless us. We just need to trust that the Lord will help us. The prophet Jeremiah in chapter 17, verse 7 said, "Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose hope is the Lord." Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose hope is in the Lord. And so the Lord wants us to be blessed. He wants us to bless our resolutions to be happier, healthier, and holier. He wants us to, by having us be in alignment with Christian values. And one of the greatest teaching of Christian values are the Beatitudes, because the Beatitudes basically turn the values of the world on their head, don't they? Because you think about it. If your pursuit is only for wealth, is that going to truly make you happier, healthier, and holier? I mean, I know some really sad wealthy people. I know some very unhealthy wealthy people. And I know some wealthy people that are less than holy. So, the Beatitude, blessed are the poor, those who are in need, those who are hungering, those who are seeking to be better, to grow more. God wants to bless that value. So we are called to spend time struggling with those Beatitudes. How do the values of the Beatitudes turn the values of the world on their head? And why? Why? Why does Jesus say, "Woe to the rich"? Does that mean all rich are bad? Or is he just saying you better be careful when you're rich, because you might find that you're distracted? You're really not striving for what's happier, healthier, or holier. So we are called to live our life with Christian values. And I'm not going to tell you what all the Christian values are, because I think you need to come to discover those on your own by spending time in prayer over the Beatitudes. What does each one of those Beatitudes say to you? What does each one of those Beatitudes say to you, and how to live your life? So what are you hungering for? What are you hungering for? What are your resolutions? What would you like to resolve to do to be happier, healthier, and holier? You need to get your resolutions in line with Christian values. And in doing that, try to stay on the straight path. It was so fun last night. My mechanic, Jason Daniels, was here at Mass. He knows that we work very hard to keep my tires in alignment, which isn't always easy, because for some reason I seem to hit every curb in town when I'm taking a turn. I mean, every curb in town. And so my poor tires, and to the point I bent the rim. And so he kept trying to keep air in that tire, but it doesn't keep air too well when you've bent a rim. And then now it's worse. I mean, it was bad enough when it was the back tires. Now we've got circles all over everywhere in Bend. Do you know that if you take a circle at 35 miles an hour, you hit the curb with your front tire on the other side? So now I'm not the only one. Look at how dark that curb is coming out of the circle. I'm not the only one that hits it. So So the reality is God will help us to be successful in fulfilling our resolutions when we align the direction of our lives with Christian values. He wants to keep us on the straight and narrow. He wants to bless us so that we stay on the right path, stay in alignment. And so, what's the best way to protect the life and effectiveness of your tires? Keep them in alignment and try to stay more around 10 miles an hour when going around the circles and bend. But put your resolutions in alignment with Christian values, and the Lord will bless them. He will truly help you to be happier, healthier, and holier.